Good morning, friends, colleagues, customers. It's a pleasure to be with you today for this inaugural Turkish Treasury Management Summit. I am very honored to have been invited today to speak to you about the next generation of Treasury technology, Kyriba's view of Treasury today and into the future. As many of you may know, Kyriba has always been on the bleeding edge of technology. Some would say the bleeding edge, certainly the cutting edge. We were the first to bring Treasury technologies to the cloud, effectively democratizing the Treasury management system for corporates today, evidenced by the fact that nearly 3,000 clients around the world, corporates, utilize Kyriba's technology to gather bank data, to communicate with banks, send payments, manage their liquidity across the enterprise, working capital solutions, FX management, risk management, and of course, cash and liquidity management. I'm Nik Romano, and I'm Global Vice President with Kyriba. I've been here for nearly a decade working with treasurers, treasury departments, finance teams around the world, and maybe about 20 years in total working with finance and technology. I think it's a very exciting era that we all happen to be in living today. There's really great amount of technology and capabilities that are here with us today and will be a part of where we go into the future, enabling a greater, more connected, more advanced operation that can truly be a partner to the finance business and the business as a whole. And we'll talk about some of the technologies that are deployed with our clients today that are being utilized throughout the world, and where we see things going in the medium term as well. So today's discussion will be again about some of these technologies that are with us and being utilized by even some of the clients listening into this call today, and as well as some of those that are emerging, and how we see those impacting the enterprise treasury departments in particular as we go forward. The first of these is data visualization. So what does this mean? I mean, today and in the past, we've had reporting, rows, columns of data, the ability to reports that we have to look at with our eyes and scan and identify exceptions. There's sometimes not drill down capabilities to understand the layers of data that are presented in a report. Usually reports are not able to be changed on the fly. They're not impacted by what's happening currently as we're looking at them. They're a representation, a snapshot of what happened in the past, even if it was just yesterday. And often questions that come up from reporting are they require explanations. So when we present them to management, to others, they ask questions about it. We have to go in and dig through the data to understand, how do we explain, how do we answer those. So as compared to reporting, data visualization, business intelligence allows us to identify, to visualize information and to find conclusions based on a more streamlined view of what the data represents. We usually see that visualization is able to be drilled down through multiple layers, down to the transaction, even to the transactions that make up the massive data that we're looking at, that they can be updated in real time, and these can be built and updated based on our needs, what we need to represent, what we need to share, what we need to create enlightenment around that might be housed within sometimes various systems. So, what happens now to the report when we've got business intelligence? We've got the ability to visualize data in an easier manner, as opposed to what we've done before, creating bar graphs, pie graphs, etc. in Excel and representing those on slides like I'm sharing with you today. Dashboards, as opposed to rows and columns. The ability to utilize voice commands, as we're used to speaking to Alexa, to our phone, Siri, and asking logical questions in real human language to identify what is needed to be viewed today. And they're designed for performance reporting, KPIs, the identification of exceptions, and to do that, of course, in a quick manner. And so with visualization, with business intelligence, the report becomes the answer to these questions that we're asking, as opposed to the representation of data in a tabular form that we then ask questions to. And how does this information, I've mentioned a couple times already, real-time data, how does this information get shared with us from the various sources where it exists, right? If you think about it, liquidity exists everywhere but in the enterprise, right? Our monies are sitting in bank accounts. We have debts that need to be paid. We have monies maybe sitting with customers that need to be paid to us. So how do I view all of this in what I keep calling a real-time fashion in one system when it's coming from so many disparate sources? APIs are today's answer to that. So application programming interfaces, APIs, allow for faster pre-built connections to transfer data between different systems. So in Treasury, we see API-based connectors linking ERP systems, sometimes multiple ERP systems, to our Treasury system. Bank data, the flow of information from the banks to us, from us to the banks. Other Treasury systems, perhaps you're utilizing money market portals, perhaps you're using trade portals, and it creates the interconnection within the Treasury system itself to create straight through processing. Internal systems, third-party systems, as I mentioned, are all rich sources of data that we can pull information from, but you don't want to do that in a manual fashion where you pull the data out and load it into a single system. You don't want to do it in a fashion where that information has to be rekeyed into a system, and APIs are the answer to solving for that. APIs are built into the systems themselves. So a security API is a product. It's part of a system like Kyriba. We've built APIs to, as I mentioned, connect to banks. Some of the largest banks in the world have already co-innovated with Kyriba to create APIs to communicate with them, and we're continuing to grow and enhance those. We've initially focused quite a bit on payments, so the outbound communication to the largest banks in the world. And we're growing that breadth of banks. We're also growing the depth of the capabilities of those APIs. So the ability to pull information from the banks related to initially balances, but eventually much more rich data that the bank's systems can offer. And bringing that into a Treasury system allows you to utilize that as a data warehouse, to have that business intelligence we spoke about, utilize machine learning, which we will speak about, and then also connect that to other internal systems, be they on-prem legacy systems, on-premise legacy systems, or other cloud-based applications, ERP systems, the Treasury itself, Treasury management system itself, etc. API-based connectors bring a lot of efficiencies to us as users, to the enterprise, because it allows you to use one user ID to log into the system and have that data already integrated across many systems. You're not copying and pasting. You're able to rely on the functionality that's integrated in a single platform like Kyriba, even though there are multiple systems that you're pulling the information from. So you're entering the data once and utilizing it in a smart manner, again, rather than gathering it, synthesizing it. Where do we see technologies coming forth that will impact the Treasury as we go forward? Well, one of those is definitely cryptocurrencies. As many of us know, cryptocurrencies are hot. Bitcoin's the most famous of these, possibly the least practical as well, because particularly the processing time, but also they're effectively cryptocurrencies an illiquid asset for corporates, at least today. This is, like many things, potentially rapidly changing, and we continue to keep an eye to this. Kyriba is capable of housing and utilizing information around cryptocurrencies, and treating it like any other currency within our system. But often the banks are not stores of such information today. So we're not getting this information in the same manner that we might other aspects of liquidity. But there's many, as I said, many frontiers around this, and one of those is certainly the People's Republic of China, who is investing quite publicly in a digital yuan, which will be pegged to they say the standard fiat currency that we're familiar with, and could offer a more secure stored value with utility for payments, and we'll see how this develops. But liquidity and utility are key here, and this is what helps us define where we invest our R&D dollars and what capabilities are available to our clients. What underlies those cryptocurrencies is a technology called blockchain, and cryptocurrencies, they run on these blockchains. I believe that even if some of the cryptocurrencies that many of us are reading about in the news today aren't so in vogue in the near term or in the medium term, the underlying technology underneath that, the blockchain, will still be. And these distributed ledgers, if you will, that the blockchain enables, can support many uses outside of the concept of digital currencies, because the ledger itself is distributed and managed by many parties, not one. The records can never be deleted. They can only be amended and updated. And this is a behind the scenes technology that enables this. It's not something you have to interface with or necessarily build, but the capabilities for interacting with this information are quite vast. And the challenge to overcome here is the efficiency, and as our friend Elon Musk has mentioned, the potential environmental impacts, particularly of some of these technologies, the computing power that's utilized to run them today. So we talked about artificial intelligence. Robotic process automation, RPA, is one aspect of artificial intelligence. It is probably best described as a ability to automate the repetitive tasks that happen today, usually are managed by people, that can be managed instead by software bots. And these repeatable, predictable tasks, like extracting information from one system, logging in and out of multiple systems, organizing data from multiple sources, in the software world, quality assurance testing. These are areas where RPAs are being utilized today, and I think we see that that these are particularly efficient for managing steps across multiple applications. Artificial intelligence, what is the limitation of today's bots? They're programmed by people, and so that means that applications are utilizing these bots to perform very specific tasks that they're programmed for. But AI means that that software can actually learn unto itself, and create ways to manage through the exceptions that they identify, and mimic the experience of interacting with a real person who's able to think logically and take steps based on the data they find. And so a form of artificial intelligence that's very exciting is machine learning. And this is a software program that's designed to teach itself and learn as it goes, again, mimicking the interaction with a real person. So this example here shows how we train a machine learning algorithm to identify, based on visual inputs, what is and what is not a duck. So you can see Donald Duck, Daisy Duck, and a rabbit, and these are identified, fed into the machine to understand what is a duck and what is not. The data is labeled, the computer is trained, and the program is then in a learned model able to take in new information, as you see on the right side of my screen here, where new inputs are analyzed, and maybe the machine identifies that web feet, bills are identifications of a duck. And in this case, it looks at Mickey Mouse and says, this is not a duck. It looks at Daffy Duck and says, this looks like what we expect to be a duck. And the program makes these predictions based on the data that it's gathered and the new data that it's consuming. And so in a Treasury environment, this means that that we can look at this information that's contained in a bank statement and identify, what is a currency, what is a value, a SWIFT code, a date, etc. So in the short term, machine learning from structured data means that we can make predictions based on the patterns that we identify in data that's been fed into the machine. So an example, today we have clients around the world that are utilizing in a production sense, machine learning in Kyriba to identify potential fraudulent payments, to reconcile bank statements, and to forecast receivables. In the long term, as these systems, these algorithms are further enhanced, we expect that we will be able to learn from unstructured data. We expect this because it's being done around the world, perhaps not within Kyriba today, but this is the near-term future. So managing hedging programs, optimizing tax implications. That can be further enhanced and et cetera. And so we see this as really a great potential area for advancement as we move forward. So as we put all this together, you can see how one could automate the cash decisioning process with real-time data coming in via APIs and utilizing artificial intelligence to take in information from AP, AR systems, to invest in money market portals, to draw down from credit facilities, and to feed information back to other systems like AP and AR. This enables intelligent reporting where users can subscribe to certain sources of data and get information that's fed to them either in a structured scheduled basis or even exception-based reporting that identifies, again, anomalies, items that need to be addressed by humans that need to make decisions. It allows for intelligent reporting, the greater visualization of data in a much more streamlined process where we wake up, we look at a dashboard, and we can visually see information that we want to see and then drill down into it where we need to see the depths of that data. And so we believe that the next generation of Treasury technology is extremely exciting. We're utilizing APIs as the glue that connects our system with other existing systems, with external systems, banking systems, market data systems, et cetera, sources, et cetera, where we can automate processes to make analysis quicker and much more effective, and creating opportunity for us to continue to enhance this technology so that you, the professionals, can identify even more tasks and responsibilities that we can lean on the systems to help us process and make decisions from. Again, I think it's an extremely exciting time to be in this functional area of Treasury, to be in finance, and for me, it's an exciting time to be at Kyriba, working with many customers and prospective customers like yourselves to identify these opportunities, to apply technology, and for our clients to subscribe to a system like Kyriba that enables them to sort of future-proof themselves, to have the technology and the continued investment in technology to be able to address the problems that we don't even know about today, that we will identify and need to overcome as we go forward. I want to say thank you very much for ELC for inviting me today, for the opportunity to speak to you all, and I hope you all take an awful lot from today's sessions, and I wish you the very best going forward.